and real life. Yep. Yeah, surrounding his name. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Okay. The weekend has been interesting in a way, you know. Oh, okay. 1 minute. I don't know why, but it is displaying on Zoom on the live stream. Yep. Okay. Can you see me now? Yeah. Okay. But I believe, yeah, everybody could see me, but yeah, except you, I guess. Yeah, even on the live stream, I'm sure everyone watching could see me. Okay, so I think Zinga Lloyd is here already. Yeah. Yeah, life update. My weekend has been interesting, okay, because I launched something. Have you watched the video? The one on Molly Town or the beginning of the live video? Yeah, the Libby's podcast. Okay, that one, that the Libby's podcast, it was there. I did it live there. That was where I was answering some of the questions that were being asked live and from some of the artists and all that. But the summary of that live is on Molly Town. It's 8 minutes for those who could not sit for 1 hour 30 minutes. So you can just go there, watch it for the 8 minutes. It's well chopped up and there's everything there. You can, yeah. So yeah, I launched that. And they say support your own. That's how I'm starting to support my own. I hope so many I hope others decide to join the trend and the movement to support their own. But yeah, because yeah, that'll just be my life update. Because I always think about this thing. If you say you want to give money, let's just say to the Cameroon's Musician Association for them to share it, I know it for a fact. I've been among all those things. The money wants to go to everybody, not the people like who deserve it, who get the money. So I just made it in such a way that you actually deserve what you get. In a sense, yeah, you actually deserve what you get. Any amount you get from that amount, you deserve it. If you make 1 million from it, yeah. I just hope at least 20 artists from there become millionaires, like 500,000. Yeah, at least I'll say I've supported mine. You know? Yeah, so they say support your own. That's how I'm starting, like supporting my own. Yeah. Yeah, even from the video, I said it. I said depending on how serious the Cameroon artists take it, because let's be honest, because this thing came up even right from the last time we talked on this podcast, we talked with the ambassador. He talked about the source of revenue, why that artists don't even make any money from their music. They resort to so many means to fund their music career. You know, this one you can actually see that okay, my song is worth money, my art is worth money. You know, yeah. So making music a career like this, the first thing I'm pumping into it. The ambassador is around. This is the first step towards achieving that. You know, yeah, towards making it a career. So mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The ambassador, what's up? These guys are okay. It shows that these guys are really disturbing you guys in Cameroon, especially in Boya. Yeah, pero mm-hmm. W- what do they expect? What do they expect with all other regions? Yeah, Boya is very small. Life update. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, mm. Oh, really? Mm, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm, mm. Yeah, that's smart. You see, the ambassador is also helping his own now. So, like, support your own in his own way. The ambassador, have you watched the video I dropped? Mm. Yeah, that's what I was just telling it that I just summarized it. I just made a summary, 8 minutes of the important things, the things that matter. It's a Moli town. Yeah, it's a Moli town. You can watch it there. Uh, I'll do that. One of the thing is the main intention was just to first of all put it out there because I know for a fact if I give this money to the Cameroon Music Association for them to share it to artists, not everybody will get it. Like even not the people who deserve it will get the money. You understand? Not the people who deserve it will get the money. So I just decided to, I see frozen. So I just decided to say, you know what? I'll just incorporate it on the Molly Town management and the record label thing, so that way they can just go there and get the song. And I know there'll be some guys who want to spam, like, you understand? Some people just want to put it there and just sit there and download it 1,000 times just to get the money. So I just came up with a number way, you know, to prevent that spamming. So if you have to spam it, it means you have to buy 1,000 numbers, you know, to spam it. So that's the first step. And the next thing is to make it like a press conference or a launch. I've not been too big on all those things, and at the same time I just wanted to do that and move to other things. But you're not the first person who has said I should do a press conference, like a big launch, you know. Yeah. No, yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. True, that is true. And the few guys that I mean, like, I just I decided to open it up to everybody because I wanted to work with a few guys which I'm in contact with, like Killer. You know, I'm talking with Killer, and the idea, he knows about the idea, and Gomez the same, Sango, all these guys that I'm friends with, they know about it. All of them, Fish, and even Lions Production Management, and all these things. I know. No, they haven't shared it because I did not even send them the link. I don't know. Most of them posted it on WhatsApp, like their WhatsApp status. Yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, okay, but and the whole idea is for guys to enjoy making music. You know what? Yeah, yeah, it's for them to know that okay, this thing is actually a career, and depending on the way it moves, we can now come up with something that all of us can benefit from down the line. Maybe the next edition, I can come up with something where we all can benefit from it. But for now, I just want the creative process and that enthusiasm that people have when they make music, that okay, I'm actually dropping this song like this because I know it will pay my bill at the end of the month, or it will do this, or if I'm releasing this song, I just know I already have my rents for the month, you know. Yeah, so that is that whole idea of supporting your own. I was talking with some guys, and that's supporting your own, that people always talk about support your own, support your own, support your own, but there are so many guys who can actually support theirs, or they can afford supporting theirs. But yeah, actually doing it is a tricky thing to do. And another thing is, when you actually do it, maybe those guys won't take you serious, like you really mean what you're about to do. But the very few guys who know that, wait, on my end or on your end? Oh, your end. Let me see why.
No sound.
Can they hear you now?
Can you guys hear me now? If you can hear me, just signal us in the comments or chat. Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. Who said no sound? Okay, Daddy, no sound. Okay, I believe maybe they can. Let me put on. Let me see if you have sound. Yeah, it's true.
Can you guys get me?
Yeah, we can get you, Ambassador. Okay. It does sound now, Delibi.
Yeah, it's true. You guys. Yep, there was no sound, but there's sound now. The sound is back. So if you refresh it from your end, you actually have sound.
Okay.
Yep. So
so today we are going to be talking about
hold up, Ita, you haven't given us your life update.
There's nothing happening on my end.
Yeah,
usually avoids that question.
Yeah, she usually avoids it.
There's nothing. I don't know, like I keep on saying the same thing every.
Just keep on saying you understand that's how your life is.
Well, nothing. Nothing's happening. It's just like I'm just indoors, behind the computer, getting stuff done. This it was last week. I had 2 interviews, which is not going to come out now because it's not the time. I'm going to release them sometime down the line. And what else? Yeah, there's just been that. Trying to edit videos, trying to work on some other things, mostly behind the computer, and that's it. Nothing exciting. Yeah. Okay, let's proceed to our topic. So, today we are going to be talking about Jusnia's reaction to Tenor winning Canal D'or. So, he said, let me try to read it. Merely a couple of months after the tragic accident that led to the incarceration of one of Cameroonian's finest young talents, giving honors to Tenor is synonymous to not only insulting the collective intelligence of millions of Cameroonians, but as the English would say, sparing the rod and spoiling the child. The move is not only out of place by every standard, but above all impetuous. I mean, how on earth can an individual who admitted barely a while ago he was drunk on the driver's seat after a ghastly accident that led to the untimely death of a young, beautiful soul be not only nominated but granted an award? How is that even possible? We are sending the wrong message to the kid, especially and a whole generation of young Cameroonians too. A message of defiance and impunity. You can't do me nothing. Do your worst. That's how society breeds dictators, by making them feel they are infallible. What kind of PR move is that? Was that the most ingenuous damage control and move to redeem the kid's image? Absolutely not. In a normal society, he shouldn't have been nominated in the first place. And he shouldn't have even turned up at the said ceremony either. The idea was good, but the timing absolutely awful and over hasty. Why the urgent urge for redemption and consecration of this at the same time, while you have clearly admitted your offense, drunk driving, in a courtroom, and you are waiting a sentence? Give people time to mourn the dead and redeem you eventually. Time. That's the Cameroonian society we live in, unfortunately, where we have lost our common sense. People have no iota of empathy. We are instead guided and motivated by nominations and awards and balls at all costs. I love the young kid Tenor, but as a parent, what I saw yesterday at the award ceremony confirmed some of the worst fears I have for this country. We live in a society where the abnormal is celebrated and the norm is ridiculed. May God help us. So that was just condemning the fact that Tenor was awarded and the fact that his return to the spotlight was hasty. I think this is Tenor's first public appearance after his court case the whole thing. So he's like, it's too hasty, and awarding him like sends a wrong message to the kid, like telling the kid like, this is okay, you can do this kind of thing and basically not receive any real consequences for your actions. So what do you think?
What category was he nominated for?
I think it was best urban artist or something like that.
So the category was for his art, okay, not for anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he won that award, I don't see anything wrong with it. That's my own case. The next thing is the same thing happened when Chris Brown had that whole thing with Rihanna and went to prison. When he came out, he won Best R&B because his song was #1 and all that. They are rewarding his art. They are not rewarding his personal life. They are not rewarding the things outside of his art, outside of his music. They are rewarding his music. So I don't see why him receiving an award. He has already been punished for that, and that's his jail time. Okay, did they want them to give him a death sentence? Like, yeah, he made a mistake and openly admitted it that he was drunk. You know. So they had to punish him by sending him to jail. You know, he went to prison, right? He was in prison while the court case was going on. Yeah, so he has been punished. He was drunk driving. Maybe if they wanted to complain, they should have just said his jail time should have been longer. They shouldn't have. They are wrong tree. The award is awarding his art, not anything else. It's like Elon Musk can say something shitty, but people buy Tesla because they like Tesla. They don't buy Tesla because of Elon Musk. Steve Jobs was a shitty person, very shitty human being. Everybody who worked with him or stayed around him complained about him, but everybody liked iPhones. Everybody buy iPhones because he was a genius. That was his art, that was his job, that was his profession. He revolution. I don't know what is revolutionized. I don't know if that's even a word. The smartphone game, like mobile phone communication. It's because of him that phones don't have button up to date. So I don't see any reason why that warranted such a write-up. Sometimes when people spaz out like this or blow up like this, I just feel like they have a good message, but sometimes they misplace it because maybe they may already have some sort of accumulated resentment either towards Canal D'or or towards Tenor. So it accumulated, and that presented a small window where they believe like, okay, this is the window where we can just pour this thing out and justify it like this. Because I don't see any reason why him winning an award has to do anything with based on the nomination. If it was up to me, based on the amount of work people have put in and all that, he wouldn't have been nominated, because there are so many guys who were supposed to be nominated for the amount of work they've put in, the amount of songs they've put out. If it is being nominated, up to me, he wouldn't have been nominated because of that, because there are so many guys who were supposed to be nominated instead of him because of the amount of songs they have out, the amount of hits they have out. Tenor has not been that active this year. He hasn't been too active. No. So
so he was nominated for best male Afro urban artist. So he was not nominated for any specific song. He was nominated for the best male Afro urban artist. And for me, I feel like if he was nominated for a song, then I might not really have any problem with this. First of all, I would say he admitted to drunk driving. I don't know what the sentence for drunk driving is. I don't know how long your prison sentence is supposed to be. but I believe it's supposed to be
Happy
longer
No
than
Month,
God.
Gazirex.
Hi.
Gazirex is
Happy
wishing
New
us
Month.
Happy New Month. Happy New Week and Happy New Month. Yeah.
Yeah, Happy New Month. So for me, I don't know the duration of the sentence, but I know he's awaiting sentence, right? So probably he's out on bail awaiting sentence. So it's not like everything is finished. He's no longer going to prison or what. He's awaiting his sentence. The verdict is still to be given.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing I would say is, for me, if his song was nominated, if a specific song was nominated, I would say, okay, you are applauding his art. And I have no issue with that. He's a talented individual and his art deserves to be applauded. But he's taking the award for the best male Afro-urban artist. So let me just say the best male artist. And I do believe that best male artist, it's not just, you're not just awarding a song. You're not just awarding the person's
awarding his
project.
art. No, his art generally, either a song, a video, everything, his overall influence or in media and mainstream.
Exactly, his overall
musically.
influence.
No, musically.
His overall influence, or like, okay, let's say musically. I do believe that some other artists deserve that overall influence musically.
Exactly, that's what I said. I said if it was
my head.
Yeah.
Off
the
the top
reason
of my head, I will call Salatel, I will call I'll call Tizi Panchak because his songs have had a very positive influence. I will call who else off the top of my head? Maybe Kosi to an extent, because Kosi too has been vibing a lot. His songs have been
not up to an extent. Kosi is a prime candidate. You have Kosi, you have Avero Jess, you have Loco, you have Salatia. For the male, okay, those guys you're supposed to nominate. Happy, maybe, because Happy has had compare him to the amount of influence and amount of, because we are basing them off the art, the music, how they fed the streets with music. So that's how we are taking it. That's why I say if it was up to me, he wouldn't have been nominated, because there were so many guys who did enough work than him. But
so I feel
saying that he should have not been nominated because of that aspect of the accident and the girl dying, that's the wrong reason why they shouldn't have nominated him.
You know.
If that never happened, okay, if that never happened, let's just say that never happened, I wouldn't have still let them nominate him because he has not been active. You understand? Okay, it's like her network has frozen. Her internet has frozen. Hello? Hello? Okay. I think I'll just keep the ball rolling while she comes back. Okay. Cameroon, I think the network in Cameroon is really messing up a lot, messing up so many things. So if it was up to me, right, I don't think Tenor should have been nominated. Let's just take away the fact that that girl, that thing happened with that girl and everything. Award shows are nominating these guys, they go for their clout. Let's just take this thing, call it for what it is. Okay, most of the time these award shows go for the clout first, the person's clout. Okay, they're going for his clout, and what do they use to justify that clout? Their art. Though sometimes the justification for the art is not, it doesn't match up, because they are just going for the clout and the business, and they use that art to justify it. Tenor shouldn't have been nominated because of that. Okay, because I can call 6 artists. If they nominate 5, I can call even 7 guys who were more active than Tenor this year, who even had more songs that blew up, that had more impact in the club and the streets, more than Tenor this year. You know,
so he has been waiting to be let in for a while.
Oh. Okay. So, like I was saying, like I said, okay, if that never happened, right? Why is this thing not going through?
Yeah, greetings, guys. Can you get
Yeah,
me?
okay.
Your video is off.
Ah, okay.
Yes. It's off again. On now. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, if that whole thing never happened, right? Yeah, because let's just like what I was saying when you guys froze, I was saying let's just call this thing what it is. Most of these award shows go for these guys because of their clout and their fan bases, right? But the thing they used to justify the reason they nominate these guys is their art, their music, right? So let's just consider the fact that these guys are rewarding these guys, we're awarding these guys based on their musical achievement they've done for that year. I don't see any reason why Tenor should have been nominated, even if that whole scenario with the girl and the drunk driving never happened. I don't see why he should have been nominated, because off the top, how many guys did they nominate for one category? How many? 5?
I don't know. I don't think
it's
it's
five.
a constant.
Yeah, because even if it is 5, I can call 8 guys that were more active than Tenor. You know, that should have been nominated. But they just go for the fact that Tenor has a huge social media following, he has all these things, that's why they nominate him. That's why I say he shouldn't have been nominated. But going to the extent of saying they shouldn't have given him an award because he did that and a girl died, he did drunk driving, that thing has nothing to do with art, has nothing to do with his music. That's life out of art. Yep.
Delibi, honestly, I would say I don't totally disagree with you, Snya, because like his point of it's going to affect especially kids, right? It's just I do believe that point is right. If a child is following Tenor's story, and they hear that okay, this is what he did, and then the next thing they are hearing is, so he has been out of the public eye for a while, and the next time he's making this big comeback is with an award. For me, I think if a child is following Tenor and is looking up to him, or not looking up to him, but just following it, the whole thing does not send the right message.
I don't know if I may say something there, because I had the same conversation with regards to this whole Tiwa Savage thing, right? Yeah, you know, like she had a sex tape that was out and people were like, yeah, role model, this, role model, that. And we had the same conversation. And even when I saw the Jules Nya comment, the same thing came to mind. 2 things here. First, I think when we had this conversation in regards to, I think it was Burna Boy or some Cameroonian story, where I was saying that most of the time I feel like people get nominated or they get awards based on their connects. I don't feel like Burna Boy would have won a Grammy if he not put Daddy's name on that thing, PDD's name on that thing. So I feel like also based on Tenor's team, that's why people are put on those things. And I feel like it's just a PR, some kind of a PR stunt trying to bring him back to the scene. That's what I think. And I don't think much of most of these awards. I don't know why people, especially artists, who I feel like first you should be contented that your art is of some value. Then you should content that you can earn your living, or you are growing, your career is growing. The awards are just a byproduct of what people are seeing, what they are saying. But it's not even a direct indicator of success as such, though. Because at times it's very misleading. So for me, I feel like artists should not pay so much attention to those things, awards and the rest. If it comes. We just keep working. There are so many other indicators which you can use to assess the growth in your career. Second thing I wanted to say with regards to what Eta is just saying, I feel like society right now, especially with social media, we have outsourced a lot of our responsibilities. People have outsourced their responsibility of crime to the church. Feel like if they get forgiveness, that's what happens. That's the church or Christ or religious people or prophets have. Even they commit crime, somehow they are free of it. Also, in that same line, I feel like people have outsourced their parenthood to celebrities. Celebrities are no role models. You as a parent have to tell your child, I want you to watch Justin Bieber when he was 15 years old. I want you to watch, I don't know who. If you feel like Tenor is not the kind of person, because I feel like Tenor has been a crazy character for a while. And even the accident is somehow true to his brand. That's an extreme statement to make, but it happens all the time. The Lil Waynes, who are those kind of characters out there, we see them arrested with guns, we see them involved in shootouts, we see them in those kind of things, which is somehow consistent to their brand. You try to make a PR stunt to spin it here and there so that there's not so much like damage control, but that's not out of the person. I saw something like this coming because of the way the guy was moving for a while. So, but when people want to blame them, saying that children who are looking up to them, why should your child be looking up to Tenor? What has Tenor done in the last 5 years that you feel that that's the person your child should be looking at? So you should be sitting in front of the TV with that child, telling your child, like, no, don't watch Tenor. Instead, watch, like this girl was saying, what's her name? Indira Baboke. Or watch Otang. Those are characters, or Ma, the other day cultural girl acts. Those are children who are living like children. Otang is trying to be a child, but still being a teenager kind of person.
Yeah, I wanted to say, do you think Otang too is the right example?
I'm just saying, but Otang is better than Tenor though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, personally,
potato.
I would want my child to watch Tenor, but I want to see what they think of Tenor. That's my own approach with these kind of things. I don't want the person to be limited, because when they go out there to the internet or when they talk with their friends still talk about Tenor. But you feel like Tenor is so much of a bad example, and you don't trust the education you have given your child for your child to have good judgment about who to follow and who not to follow, then let them not watch Tenor. But for you to say that he's a role model, Tenor is a role model for those who are walking along that road. He's not a role model. He should not be a role model to anybody's child. He should be a role model for upcoming artists or a young boy who is maybe an enfant gâté. I'm just saying things that might be associated with brand. I don't know him to speak on his person like that. But I feel like if you're worried about your child, you should not outsource your parenthood, what you should be doing as a parent, to artists. Now, because you are in the bar drinking, your child is watching Tenor and listening to Tenor more than they should be listening to you, and now you're complaining that Tenor is not raising your child well. Be better to that child with you. Why should you be the one raising that child?
Yeah, I get your point, right? I get your point. And
I think Chi Greg is saying something.
Okay, yeah, so Chi Greg is saying Tenor did not deserve any award. He has not released any memorable project this year. The truth is that the whole Canal D'or setting has always been with Tenor. Since from when he came out, he has always been performing during the award show. I remember he had one of the most showed performance during the award when he made Chanta Bia to do the dab. Nai country people.
But as we said, we don't feel that he deserves it, but I did not even feel like those awards are going according to how people deserve things in the arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, my point, I get the point of you should not let the media raise your child. Of course, that's not the way to go, right? But when I even say children, I don't know if I'm not talking about children like kids who should be watching cartoons.
Toddlers and the rest. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not talking about those people, because I feel like they might not be that.
Okay, but as I said, even teenagers though.
I'm talking about probably a young boy who wants to follow in Tenor's footsteps. A young boy who is like going in the music scene, and he's like, okay, this is the person I want to follow in their footsteps. Having that mentality of, okay, I can probably, if Tenor can go do stuff like this and not get
that's what I said, right? I said if your parents had raised you well, even as a teenager or a young adult, you should know what to choose. I'll give you an example. When I was doing rap, there are certain curse words I will not use, because I recall specifically on a particular day, my mother told me, like, mark this date on the calendar. Don't use curse words again in my house.
After it, I
cannot forget it. Because I've been watching American movies, and all of a sudden we started using curse words, we're feeling like it's cool to be American. And my mother just like, what is this happening in the house? She was like, don't use curses against this house. So it's not a matter of what I'm seeing. Your ass. Lil Wayne is not living in that same house with me. Why would I go and be following Lil Wayne and get into trouble in this house, my man? So why will you go and be watching Tenor when the guy is making money, is living in the house?
You slipped up and they correct your mistake.
Nah.
Yes. See, that's true, right? That's true. So it's true it's true that the parents
that might be in the past,
God damn, because I can relate.
You can relate to African parents, right?
That you said something one day that was out of place, and woo, they leave your ass up. You just say something out of space, and they lead your ass up, like, woo, goddamn.
Yeah. My point is like I get that the parents need to pay attention. The parents need to be the people like putting the virtues or whatever the child has to grow up and be in the future.
Yeah.
But you also know that raising a child, there's this saying that raising a child takes a village or something like that.
Yes, community.
A child is not just influenced by what happens at home. A child is influenced by what happens in their community. A child is influenced by what happens at home. A child is influenced by the kind of friends they keep, what they watch. There are all these different factors. And it's okay for people to complain if one of those factors, even if it's a factor that affects the child's upbringing 10% or 5%, if you are complaining that 5% that is not okay, I feel like people have the right to say this 5% is not okay. The parents might have like 60% of the responsibility.
I feel like I have limited megabyte and light goes off too much in Cameroon for me to be wasting my light and my megabyte to complain about something that I cannot do anything about it. Tenor will still be Tenor. Tenor will continue singing. Junior has written what he has written. 2/3 of, let me say, 80% of Cameroon have not seen what Junior has written. They will still dance to Tenor in every bar. So it's just wasting my megabyte for him to come and be saying that. If we really want to do something about Tenor's thing, he should call the manager of Canal D'or, if he has his number. Be writing on this social media and then trying to make us remember who his name. I don't know. Let me know. Yeah.
Okay. Aninkia say Canal D'or comes after every 2 years.
Okay.
Really though?
So
I think they used to be annually, but because of Corona, they skipped 1 year. I don't know. Or maybe I've not just paid attention enough. At one point, I felt the annually.
Okay, last year, let's just say 2020. What song did they not have that really made an impact?
Yeah. The song that
2021.
What song? Now is the song that he did, paying homage to DJ Arafat, but I don't think that song
has that too well.
So that's what I'm saying. Even Aninkia, even is Ayenkia. I keep mispronouncing your name. Sorry, but even if we think about all that, okay, let's just call it what it is. These guys go for these things because it's a whole marketing scheme. They go for these guys because of their clout, their fan bases. That's why they nominate them. Like I said, if it was because of art, I don't even think Tenor is even supposed to be nominated. So we should not even use that aspect of him having that issue or that. Like I said, he was penalized. If they wanted to complain, they should have said, okay, his prison time or his jail term should have been longer. Yeah, that's where you direct that kind of complaint when you're talking about that thing. Okay. But going at Canal D'or, that's misguiding. Like I said, maybe he had some sort of animosity with Tenor and Canal D'or, and that nomination and that award gave him some sort of window to write that thing.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. I felt like let me not say things which may be out of place. But that's what I was thinking.
That's what I think. That's what I believe, because the award shows are rewarding an artist for his art, not because of his activity or his behavior. Chris Brown won Best R&B Artist when he left jail after beating Rihanna up, because he's had a song that was #1 and had song that was booming. Girl, I think it was Lawyer. I think that song and the song with. So he came back. They were rewarding him for his art, not his behavior. And you know, Rihanna is big. Like, if they had to go with that criteria that he assaulted a lady, more of that Rihanna, he wouldn't have even been nominated, or even he won 2 awards that year. So this thing, if they are going at that award show for giving him an award, that's misguided animosity. Maybe because it's misguided, unless he has some sort of agenda and he just wants to use that to bash both of them or bash the organization.
I feel like using the Chris Brown example though, Chris Brown was blackballed for a while. He was not invited to certain things and stuff, but that was not because of the moral side of things. It was just because of who Rihanna was.
That's what I'm saying.
Beyonce would say and Beyonce will say they're not coming for this award if Chris Brown is invited. Definitely Chris Brown will be invited because they want Rihanna, Jay-Z, and Beyonce to come. So it was not so much because of the moral side of things. And that's why I even said, if he's that pissed off and he has the powers in the industry, then call those that can blackball Tenor.
Him.
It's not
exactly.
Talk on social media to paint him negative because that will not really do much. I don't feel like many people have read that happen.
Yeah. So that's just what I think about it.
Yeah,
but
for me,
that on the side, I feel like what Tenor did socially, there is something wrong with it. His character, which has been displaying all this while,
of course, there's something really wrong. Yeah, somebody died,
really
and he was drinking.
The way the justice system handled it, there's an issue.
Yeah.
And generally, as I said, I saw it coming. His character was going a little out of control, which is something which we see with a lot of these, should I call them teenage stars or things like that, who cannot handle it. So, for that side, we are not saying that what he did was right. Instead, I feel like he's trying to correct his mistakes, and it's something which, if we want to send him to prison, let's send him to prison. When we leave him to be outside, let's leave him to try to amend his mistake. He wore a whole Bamileke cap, and some members of his crew were wearing the Bamileke cap. That's in an effort to make peace with a girl who I think was Bamum or so, from the Western region. He also gave a moment of silence for the girl, and the crowd stood up. So I feel like he's trying to make amends. If we want to lock him, let's lock him up. But if we leave him out, then let's leave him to try to make the amends. Yeah. But if it's
instead, he should have said. Instead, he should have even complained. If you wanted to complain about that whole scenario and the thing that happened, and them rewarding him, they should have said, somebody just killed a girl, and he admitted he was drunk driving, and you guys just let him out just like that. He should have gone at the justice system, not at the award show.
Not the award show.
Yeah.
You know.
So I don't see. That's something personal to me. There's something personal. That emotion, the post was guided by some sort of personal animosity or personal grudge.
And that's one of the things I keep on telling my people in Cameroon. I'm like, there are some of these people, like Jules Nia is one of those grand friends in the industry whose voice should count for something. Pete Bakali is one. I feel Nabil is one. Guys too, like what's this guy's name? Tony Nobody is one. But once you start compromising the value of your voice because of maybe your team or who you stand with or some personal beef, some other people who are like, let me say, second, should I call the next generation soldiers coming behind you, start doubting your motive. Like, should I follow this guy all the way? Because at times he says things which I'm not seeing the grounds for it. I mean, like, I always tell people like Kerry James. Kerry James during Panal les Émeutes in France, they could call him to tell the youth, like, guys, please, let's stop breaking the streets because we're destroying our own hood. The guys know that Kerry James is a no-trash somebody and can trust his motives. If at one point we feel like maybe the government has bribed Kerry James and he's telling us to stop to break the streets because he's on the side of the government, we will not listen to him. He has compromised his grand frère personality. And I feel like in Cameroon, we don't have those kind of people because every now and then everybody dips their hand in one basket or in one team or the other. So each time they say things, we start doubting like, is this guy saying this because he's objectively speaking, or he's saying this because this peripheral smash is two in one corridor? They're not smash with my so I cannot follow that protest.
They even going right to the post. That post is not even aiming at Tenor. It's at Canal D'or. He has some sort of animosity with them. That's from what I see. And Tenor is just like a catalyst, something he can use to.
Yeah, that was the easiest thing he could.
That was the easiest thing. He should have just said, "These guys that were nominated. I don't see why these guys were nominated." Blah 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 blah. So, yeah.
I think they have said that for the last maybe 10 editions of Canal D'or and nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened, and they still keep doing what they want to do.
The guys keep going big and they're doing their thing. They're looking for something bigger that can really step in their toe. And the other thing I noticed in that Canal D'or was they somehow tried to bring Anglophone, how do they call them? MCs. But I don't know. I remember like we had this discussion when we were talking about the Mireille Blanche thing. I was saying, when the door is open, do you want to send the first soldier online or do you want to send the best soldier online? I don't know if that makes sense. I was saying, like now, when I was listening to it, I was like, I don't know. Because at times you judge those things from the spectator point of view, I felt like the English-speaking MCs were not vocal enough. You know, like the MCing, you have to be spontaneous. Something happens, you just come, ooh la la, regarde la fille, elle est très belle, and then you don't have to say, oui, I think so, the same thing, that kind of thing. But for some reason, I just felt like the conversation was so much dominated by the French-speaking MCs because, I don't know, So I feel like if maybe we had a more charismatic, that's what I was saying at times. Do you understand the first soldier in mind or the first soldier in mind?
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
I watched parts of it, but most of the parts I watched, I felt it was like a summarized video I watched online and looked like, the voice of the English-speaking MC was in the shadow.
All right.
Yeah. So, concluding from me, I just feel like there are a lot of things. I know that the ambassador said something that just resonated with me, and all of the points which have been raised that just got me thinking. Like, there are a lot of things in society that you find yourself very helpless and you cannot really do anything about. So there's no point, like, on top of that, wasting your energy talking about it, complaining about it. Like, because when you just mentioned like the Chris Brown thing, like, he was blackballed not because what he did was wrong, but it's because it was Rihanna. So if you would have done this to if you would have done this to another girl,
surely he has done it to other girls. We didn't even hear about it.
And we see this a lot. It's like it's becoming a trend in society. I don't know if trend is overstating the matter, but it's becoming.
No, it's not.
You hear a lot that you hear men either being abusive or doing certain kind of basically being abusive. But these are people in power, and they go about still honored by society, still praised, and sometimes the women are even made to look like the evil people, and like they are the ones who have done something wrong or so. Like a lot of thoughts that just come to my mind. I remember I know I've heard of stories of women who have come out to say like, this person has done this, and then church members say, why are you bringing it up? And she's made to look like
that this person usually is the pastors, the daddy of the church.
Exactly, the pastor. Like, why are you spoiling our pastors, and now she's the evil person? So that
they say, judge not the anointed or whatever, speak not about whatever. That those schools are always want to speak your mind.
Exactly.
Anyway,
so there are a lot of these things there are a lot of these things, like even the Tenor situation and all those things, like the fact that there was a young lady who died. I think for me, it's kind of, I take it kind of personally in that way. So there are a lot of these things that happen, and you just find yourself very helpless about the way what society honors. And
I feel like it should motivate you though.
Why? Like,
so my point is, at a certain point in time, I decided in my life that I realized that if you don't have a voice, don't bother talking, because people will not hear, because you don't have a voice. So it should motivate you to become a Rihanna, so that if something happens to you, people will really act because you are Rihanna.
Yeah,
because
even
on the other hand,
sometimes I just believe that what it has said is correct, and I've seen it happen. And on the other hand, because it has brought this thing up and realized that most women, because they are women, people turn to, because they want to fight for the women who go through that scenario. Some women abuse it by maybe putting a man in a situation where, because you need to believe the woman, because that thing is a trend, it has been happening, they put the man on a back foot. Like this guy who acted Pirates of the Caribbean, do you know his name? Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, yeah.
He lost millions of dollars for movie roles, got canceled for so many movie roles, and almost went to jail because his girlfriend said the same thing, that he's beating her in the house, pulled out her hair, took makeup, put it on her face, went on Instagram live and said, this is my eye that he knocked in the night. And the only thing that saved them was a call that they had, and his friend recorded that the girl was saying, you know, I will go online and say all these things, you know, they'll believe me, right? I'm a woman. And Johnny Depp was telling her, let's just end this relationship. She said, if you end this relationship, I'll go and say you beat me before leaving, and all these things. And she did just that. Started crying and recording it, started doing all these things. Like, Have you seen Aquaman, the movie? How many of you have seen it? Yeah.
Partially.
Yeah, the girl, the main character, the female, that girl with the red hair.
What's her
That's
name?
his girl.
I knew the girl with Johnny Depp.
It's Megan something, I think.
Megan Fox. No, it's not Megan Fox.
It's not Megan Fox, Megan something.
Yeah. Anyway, but what I want to say to this is Daily B. I feel like there is always that question of, I'm sure every judge has that dilemma of, should I sentence the guy to death or life imprisonment? I may be wrong. They say 1% chance you may be wrong. But my thing is, I would rather sentence a man wrongly for beating up a woman than standing the chance that I'm leaving a wife beater to be out there. I don't know if my point makes sense.
No,
that's
it doesn't make sense.
It's not from any religious or any legal backing. But my conscience will sit better with judging a man wrongly that maybe he's beating a woman than leaving a man that may be beating a woman to be out there to continue beating her because I'm assuming that maybe he's not beating her.
I don't buy that point. Why don't you just get a restraining?
Ideally, right, Daily B. Ideally, right, we want a system that will not make mistakes and is going to catch everybody who is wrong, the woman who is faking or the man who is beating the woman. But if I cannot know for certain, I would rather take a chance that way because there's less damage from where I stand. That's why I just say it's a personal opinion. I cannot back it on any religious or legal ground.
Yeah, so for me, I think there are people who lie about certain situations. There are people who really go to certain situations. But I would say the fact that there are people who have come up and lied about certain situations should not guide guide the way you judge a certain case or the facts of the matter, because
it also goes with what the ambassador said, like he can wrongly he may sit well with him if he wrongly sentence a man. You understand? That's
not that I wrongly sentence a man. Listen to what I said. It's not the fact that he's a man. It's the fact that one person may be beating the other and one person may be acting like she's being beaten. If I'm confused, I'd rather sentence the person who may be accused of beating than standing the chance that actually he's beating that woman and I let him go free.
Why not put like a restraining order between them two and just say if she's in this city, you should move to the next city? We don't want to hear that you guys are in one environment together. Why don't you do that?
That's part of the sentence because there you are unfairly still sanctioning the man. You are telling him to move to another city.
But in that way you're doing damage control instead of sentencing. That's no sentence. You're not sentencing anybody in that case.
When I meant like sentencing, I meant like I would rather doubt the man's story by sentencing or giving him how do they call it, restraining order. Somehow doubts his own side of the story. Because
in that case, right?
If I can give you a restraining order too, that's a good way to go about it. More moderate.
Because in that case, if you're doubting one person, if you give a restraining order, right? If I'm lying, you give a restraining order, you're separating the two of us. If I'm lying, right? It clearly means if the girl is lying that I'm beating her, she doesn't want to be around me. She wants to leave. So when you give a restraining order, you are fulfilling the girl's part, okay, because she wants to leave, and you are keeping me away from it because you're doubting if she's saying the truth or she's lying. That way you're saving both parties.
What if I have to lose my job because I have to move to another town?
No, not like moving to another town. They can say you can. Restraining order means you guys do not have to stay together.
Daily B, we have watched movies where they give restraining order and the guy comes and kills the girl in the night.
And we have still watched movies.
The restraining order is enforced forever because she's there.
Okay, and we have still watched movies that they give a restraining order. A girl claims that the guy is beating her. They give a restraining order. The girl sneak out of the house, come and start staying with the boy. I've seen it so many times.
So in that kind of confusion,
he's avoiding the girl, but she's still
the man.
You know, I saw one that the guy was in prison, right? They left the guy came out of prison. He was on probation and had a restraining order to stay away from the girl, and he had a court hearing through Zoom. You know, the girl came and was staying with the guy. He told the girl to go, but the girl said no, if you leave so she was staying with him. And when the judge called, he did that Zoom call in the same apartment with the girl and used the girl's phone. So the judge was talking to the guy and said, can you please, are you sure the girl is not there? Can you turn your camera?
You know, like the English, in the common law system, there's something Etta said where she said, you will not leave it influence you. I feel like most of the time the members of the jury are always being influenced by past experiences and their
this story is like
two, in the English law, there's also the whole issue of is it precedents or so, where once a case was judged a particular way in the past, it can be quoted and it can be referred to judge a case in the future. So somehow we are always influenced by things that happen around us, and if the men have the negative rep of the ones beating the women, then they just have to take the fall for it. If black guys are stealing too much in shops, and then now you walk into a shop and now they have to follow Etofis to a shop suspecting him of stealing. You cannot blame the shopman too, you cannot blame Etofis, but somehow it's Etofis people who have been doing this, so he has to just take the shock for it. That's
they call that profiling.
Yeah, and it happens and it will continue happening.
And it's a crime.
But it still happens.
Yeah, so for me, definitely the profiling is not okay. My only thing is don't profile any of the parties. Don't profile the women because other women have lied in the past, and don't profile the men because. So it's like I feel like
that's not realistic though.
It's not realistic.
For me, I feel that if you're a judge sitting on stage, right, and somebody comes and they're saying, okay, this person did this to me, this person did this to me, and this, that. You as a judge, your role is to look at the facts in front of you.
Maybe because you are not a judge, that's why you're saying that. Can I ask you a question? If you're in a lift, a boy walks in with dreadlocks and he's smoking banger, you will not hold your purse and then be on their left.
I might come out of the lift.
Exactly. Why?
I don't know, maybe because of things that I've heard about.
Profiling.
You're profiling. That's profiling.
In a particular case where it concerns you, you profile people, and everybody does. That policeman has 5 seconds to judge, and that might be a life-changing decision. And the first instinct you have is to use your past experience to judge this person, and you must profile them.
No. Let me tell you the difference, right?
He has used a wrong example.
Me being in that lift with that person smoking banger, I feel like it's not just a matter of me judging him or it's a matter of life and death. It's a matter of
you're walking with dreadlocks.
I don't really have issue with people with dreadlocks.
No, he walked in with dreadlocks, looking like a banger smoker, and then singing Jar Rastafari things, and then cursing in the air.
So for me,
you saw a knife in his
right
pocket.
Now, let me say this. For me, I'm walking out of that elevator because there are two things. He might be a good person, and I might have gotten it wrong. The alternative is he might be a bad person, and I might end up even losing my life.
Exactly.
I might end up being in danger. Now, that judge sitting on stage, what are the two situations?
So that judge, when you are a judge, every time you put yourself in the shoe of the person who is complaining, you should always put yourself like, what is happening to that person is happening to you. So what decision should I take? So the same way you are judging this situation now, that's what a judge does every day in their life. They put themselves in the shoes of that person who is complaining. So their life might also be in danger because that guy can come out and kill that woman in the night. So you must profile him to judge.
Yes. That's true. You must profile him to judge. But I'm just saying that at that moment in time, right, your mind is more, you have the freedom. You have the freedom to be able to analyze and make certain decisions and think rational and all that. Because in that moment that you are sitting in court, your life is not at risk. You have no huge risk to fear. The police, everything, you're guarded. You don't have that kind of fear. But me in that elevator, my decision is mostly based out of fear that I'll be running out of that elevator.
After that judgment, that woman who is complaining will not have security there. She might be killed in the night. So you put yourself in her shoes, you are not guarded.
Okay. The ambassador asked you a very smart question. But in that question he asked, if that was asked in court, there were so many holes that you could have escaped that answer. That would have negated his rebuttal. Like he wouldn't have had a way to come back. You should have just said you never liked the smell of weed. That's why you left the elevator. In that way, the profiling would have disappeared. That notion, you profiled him.
I think she used a natural. You're not talking about the God. She used a natural, a natural.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Was seated here, we walk out of the elevator. You don't want to stand the chance of anything happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about. I want to.
I'm talking. I remember we were complaining about profiling, and I said even amongst us black people, we ourselves.
Yeah, we all profile, okay, but it depends on. Let me just say, we all profile. But the case you use about the police and said the police has few seconds to judge and all that, nah, that's wrong.
So don't get me wrong. I'm not justifying like the Black Lives Matter thing. And
no, I'm not talking about Black Lives Matter.
Like
no, come on.
At one point they do excessive violence things, right? But to say that we don't want profiling at all is not realistic. But now how they react after the profiling is where there might be a problem. But to say that you don't want profiling at all in the call of duty and that split-second judgment is not realistic.
I don't know. So you're saying that black should not say, black should not fight for police should stop fighting them and killing them.
No, the ambassador. Let me wait.
A fight what happened? I don't understand.
The ambassador, listen.
No, you get what I said.
The ambassador,
I said
listen. If you are going based on profiling,
is what I have a problem with.
And listen. If you want to go with that police thing and they say, okay, their instinct, they go first on profiling how can it go wrong based on past experience or based on information and the rest, right? They have to take that decision. Okay, if you go to based on past experience and all that, white people are the people most likely to shout at police. White people are the people most likely to shoot at police. White people, just check it. If it is based on experience, and black people instead, they don't like being around police. When they see police, they run.
Anyway, but being honest, even I'm not best placed to talk about the American society because I don't live there. But at least for Europe, where I spent some years, and in Africa, where I've been, I can speak on those things. I feel like we profile amongst ourselves too. But now in the American context,
of course, everybody profiles. Everybody profiles. But that for the police now, we are talking about he may kill that person because that's where the profiling comes in. A black man is stronger than a white man. A black man is that's the only thing. He's afraid of engaging physically with that person, believing that person. That's why you see a black kid at 12 years, they rough-handed that person like an adult because they already have a notion in their mind that blacks are stronger than white.
But you cannot shoot him in the leg or something.
That's why I said it is wrong. Sometimes they are programmed to do that, like based on, because police unions have associations that they defend and protect, like internal talks that shoot that nigga, man. Like they have all those things. There's a policeman who even came out. There's a policeman who came out, a black policeman, and was trying to expose some of those things that were being hidden, like the body cam that don't want to be released and hidden. He came out and was exposing those things, and they fired him, and they were trying to do all those things. He said, but he was in the police force and he see all these things happening, and he saw them clearly trying to cover this thing up, talking about it even before doing it, and even discussing about it after it happens. Like, man, you should have seen that nigga run him and shot his ass. But like they talk about it.
No, but you know, like a Delibi, when you're out of the room, there are certain things which you find strange. But when you're in the room, there are a number of things which I've been in rooms and we're discussing those things. And I know that if I was out of that room, I would have been like, what are these people talking about? But because I'm in the room, there's that sort of groupthink, and we are all in this.
He was in the room. He was in the room. Exactly. He was in the room, and he heard what these guys were talking about in that room.
I feel like, if we are realistic speaking, like I recall, like when this happened where the child was killed in Boya.
Yep.
I was talking with a soldier, and he was like, what that guy did was very terrible. But if he's being honest, he does not think that if he had his gun on him, he would leave the crowd to kill him. And I thought about it, and I was like, but there's some truth to this thing, though. I don't know if you get my point.
No, I get your point. That's survival instinct.
Yes. So
I get his point. It's survival instinct.
He would have shot the
people.
He would have killed more people before dying.
Before they take him down. Like, it's survival instinct.
This guy was very remorseful, or was very sorry about what he had done to leave the crowd to just kill him like that. He was even saying that he's thinking like village people actually even tied his brain in a pot. To have a
No,
gun
at that
on
point,
you
I
and then die
understand
like
why that
I mean,
guy
they
would
just
say that, because
this guy
every
was
human
going
being,
down.
the same way you said you leave that elevator when that thing happened is because you're afraid of your life. That's survival instinct. That guy's own case is talking about survival instinct. Like,
That's
he doesn't care if he's right or wrong. It's survival instinct. He wants to survive.
Yeah.
We are all primates. We are all, we have that in us. It's just that we are the only primates that maybe we have some free will. We rationalize. But
So most of the time,
technically,
I'm
when you
saying that
think
most
the
of
way
the
we
time,
behave,
to solve this kind of problems is to avoid the situation. Because once it happens, the whole argument of who is right, who is wrong, who said what, who did not say what, is going to happen. It's going to go down that way. And if we are being honest, any one of us put in any sides of it might react the same way. A crowd, my child has just been killed, I don't know how I'll react. Be the soldier, a mob is coming to kill me, I don't know how I'll react. So it's tricky. Just avoid those situations. Let's not put people in those desperate ends to have to react like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we have probably exceeded our 1 hour mark.
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about today.
Yeah. So
I heard Patience had been.
What's happening?
No, I heard Patience
Tenor.
had been eliminated. Is it true?
I have to go online and check. I've not had lights I have to go and check. Then we might need to pop some bottles for that.
There was a rumor.
What?
No. Even in as much as I wanted her to be eliminated, but I thought she never had the lowest vote, and I think is the lowest person with the lowest vote that is eliminated.
You know, the first lady of the Goofman movement.
No, that she's no first lady.
One, it might be that it's just a backlash of fish people reacting. Two, it might also be that because imagine look at fish numbers. If fish actually goes telling people like go and vote against patients, because it's also a matter of people can vote against you. I think that's what happens in Big Brother Nigeria. I don't know for Cameroon, but I think people can vote against you or something like that.
No, if it is against, then she should have been out right from the first week. If they could vote against, like government would have taken her out right from the first week.
I feel like you're not intentionally
so.
looking at her, but when she consistently went at fish, maybe they intentionally looked at her. Now it's possible though. Although I don't.
But that thing against fish started just a few weeks, maybe just a week into that Biggie house. Like the whole run has just been between Patience and Fish.
That's why two people are keeping that show going. They should not try to vote Patience.
What I think is maybe she did something in the house that gave her strikes that made them take her out. Because I don't think it's about voting. If it is voting, I don't see. If they said they took her out after voting, then I'll protest. Even though I don't like her, but I'll protest because it's unfair.
I'll doubt that too.
Yeah, maybe it strikes.
What about this thing? I Fish he
allegedly assaulted Queen Mother. I don't know. I don't have any confirmation. Even the patient being eliminated, I still don't have any confirmation. Yeah, me too. The patient being eliminated, no confirmation. Fish assaulting Queen Mother, no confirmation. They are all just rumors. There are things that got to my radar. People were saying and asking me, Libby, have you heard this? Libby, have you seen this?
So they say Patience has been evicted from the Biggie mansion.
Where are you seeing this now?
This is one blog 227 Trending TV.
But that's why I said all of those blogs. It's likely that it's true, but I still take it with a pinch of salt. Maybe I see it on Fish World or I see it on.
But last year they eliminated somebody and brought the person back, right? The girl who won, I think.
Really?
No, not the girl who won. There was one girl who they eliminated. She came back and became.
Is that Swan girl? Something Swan.
Yeah. I think she was third. She came out third after that. When she went out and came back, she came out third. I think.
Yeah.
So
even in Nigeria, the same thing happens. They eliminate and bring them back.
What am I seeing evicted fish? What's happening here?
Okay, it means it's just rumor, clickbait, and all that. Just yeah. I don't think that girl has been eliminated because Fish had the highest, patient was second.
Yeah.
So I don't. Unless it's Biggie who said, patient, you're out of the house because of A, X, Y, Z, you have been problems in the house, you've been causing too much chaos in the house, and blah 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 blah. Unless if that's the case, then I understand. But if it is voting, nah.
Maybe her hair bleaching thing was getting finished. She wanted to step out to go get more.
Really?
I'm just thinking out loud. Don't blame my friends.
Do you guys think those people in Biggie 237, they don't leave the house, that mansion, until the show is over?
Yeah, but imagine that, like your hair cream or your body cream or something starts getting finished, and you
No,
know that
Eta is asking. Eta is asking that. Do you think these guys don't leave the house until the show is over?
Yeah, because I think
No,
when
they
the cameras
don't.
are off, they don't. Are you sure? Even when the cameras are off.
I feel like if they were allowed to step out, like even in Cameroon, that's why our Big Brother is not as intense like the Nigerian one. Because at one point, you start feeling like the people are really lost in their own world, and we are looking at them like, look at this, almost like they are being controlled. But if they went outside and saw what is happening and the impression people are having, certain decisions will be changed. Cameroon, I cannot really say. Maybe Cameroon people have phones. They're stepping out of the house. I doubt, if not, would have been seeing some kind of reactions that show, like in the case where they leave people to go out of their house, when they come back, most of the time they're in their first three because they understand now what is happening, what are the trends outside, what are people thinking, and they readjust their strategy to that.
Yeah,
Most
even
of the
that
time,
girl, that was what she said. That was what.
they come with better strategy. Nigeria or Cameroon, that's what usually happens.
That's
The
what
girl
she
was
said.
dead,
That when she went out, she
in
saw.
Nigeria, went out and came back.
Yeah, she saw the things trending out. She said, "Oh, so this is what people gravitate towards, eh?" She came back into the house and boom, 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 boom. Like if people know that patience is and fish is a thing outside, if they eliminate them, they'll go back into the house and try to instigate something between one of those two, just to get in the mix.
Yeah, and then be part of that whole traffic.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right.
Okay, I think is there anything to talk about?
I was wondering, we don't have any Africa related thing, because I was also thinking, like, actually with Chakara TV, at times let's also talk about things happening in Africa though. I was just thinking.
Yeah, okay, there's this recent thing. I know I've been seeing it, Canal D'or talking about wanting to team up with Cameroon. I think Liberia is one of the countries that he's talking about planning something with between those countries. So I've not really gotten the details about that. So I don't know, the ambassador, are you?
I saw something like that,
No
but if you
idea.
have noticed recently, I've not been too intense on the Canal D'or bandwagon. Two reasons. When the whole thing happened with what's his name? Lyrical Joe.
Yeah,
I felt a kind of way.
yeah.
Yeah, when they were threatening him, and then it was people from the Canal D'or team that were saying that let this guy in at the end, but Canal D'or never really came out to like say something. I felt it kind, because I jumped on the Canal D'or wagon because of the whole Pan-Africanist vision he had. So we understand beef is beef. When it's beef, even between brothers who go at it. But now to stop somebody from coming to perform in a country, actually it was not Canal D'or doing it, but his fans were the ones saying things. And if he did not openly come out to make a strong Pan-Africanist statement to support Lyrical Joe to come and perform in Sierra Leone, I started feeling like, are we really on this Pan-Africanist thing together? I still follow his things, but not as intense as I used to. That's just me being honest. Secondly, when he was nominated ambassador for entertainment, whatever, I felt like he was going to use that platform.
He was appointed,
Yeah. He was going to use that platform strongly for Pan-Africanist initiatives. And secondly, I just have a certain, should I call it, méfiance. I am very careful with people when they get into politics and into power, unless you really show me like, government is saying this, but I'm saying this. But if you don't show me no clear tune of, I am my own mind away from the government, and if I feel like you are in one with the government, I have my second thoughts. I just start feeling like, I don't know. So that's why most of the things now Canal D'or related, I still follow him, but I cannot. I said earlier in this podcast where I was saying, as soon as that feeling like I cannot die for somebody's beliefs, die is a very strong word. I cannot vouch for your beliefs. I start being careful which one I support, which one I don't support. I don't go all Nas on you of like whatever Nas says is true. I don't care. If he says that this white is black, then this white is now black.
Right.
But I cannot stand behind Canal D'or again like that. So most of the things he has been doing, I see them, but I just watch them. I don't actively go behind them till I see results. I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. And even the way things went down, some of the words we're getting about the whole Drizzy League thing, because he brought Drizzy League to our face, and I felt like he should be supporting Drizzy League all the way. But at one point, I was getting the fans saying he's not supporting, he's sabotaging Drizzy League's growth, and I was like, but I thought this is what we all stood behind this thing for. Like, I may be wrong, just watching from the outside. That's what I'll conclude.
Yeah. But for me, I think at the end of the day, most of these artists, there's a lot of ego in the artistic field. There's a lot of looking out for myself in the artistic field. And there's a lot of pretending to look out for everybody. And a lot of times you see people saying, oh yeah, I'm doing this for this, because that's the right thing to say at the moment. That's a politically correct thing. But deep down it's like, okay, this is going to help me. This is going to help my career. So for me, most of the time, like when things come out like that, which show that the artist is looking out for number one, which is themselves, I'm not really shocked about it anymore, because a lot of times it has come out that's the case.
So shock is not the word as I said, but as I said, I will not. He's a human being. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Why would I just carry my life like collateral and go and stand behind somebody's wall? So I will not go all the way to vouch for him like that anymore. So not that I'm shocked, but I'm just being careful, as I use the word méfiant in French. Like, I'm a little bit more careful how I walk behind. I said the same thing for Jovi. I said in the beginning I was going at it. I was Jovi all the way.
Yeah.
But when one or two decisions, I'm like, let me observe now before I talk. Before I push his things, I can push this one and not push that one. But at the beginning, I was pushing everything Jovi. I was even looking at Banga, like maybe Banga might be something good at one point. I was like, I cannot imagine.
Right. Yeah. And what I was talking about is this his update where he says, I see a day coming where Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Cameroon will be having inter-country hip-hop music and film festivals. Shout out to all my fans out there in Kame. Bless up. Yeah. So I think this basically is not, because I saw a lot of people hyping, he has said this, and I think basically he's just making a statement because he has a huge fan base in those 3 countries. So he's like, okay, let me appease my fan base. And
we all see that day coming, but how will it come? That's the problem. Because if they cannot swallow their egos for a Canal D'or to do a song with Jovi, I don't see that day happen.
Really?
Till we get to that stage where those at the forefront can swallow their pride and then really sleep on the floor like the carpet people to walk on your back, so that we can walk into that promised day of one Africa and one strong Africa. If everybody's trying to hold their own, their name, their town, their country, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah, because like I remember asking Canal D'or, do you ever see yourself doing a collaboration with Bokuro? And I was like, yeah, Bokuro is my guy. We'll probably do a collaboration of just like being politically correct. Then Bokuro to the same thing when I asked him, like, do you ever see yourself doing a collaboration with Canal D'or? Yeah, it's my guy. We just need to link up and stuff like. But why have they not linked up? I feel maybe it's just that a pride thing of who is making the first step to do the link up. So it's like, yeah, I see your point. Like, we want that day to come.
Yeah. If you really want to get into Sierra Leone, maybe work with Bokuro. You really want to get to Cameroon, work with Jovi, whatever it takes. Because you're looking at the grand scheme of things. It's not a matter of, it's bigger than Cow, it's bigger than Jovi. It's that strong Africa. So whatever Jovi does, you tolerate it because it's not about you. It's a bigger picture. But now, because of whose verse will go front, whose verse goes first and those kind of things is the big problem now why Cameroon and Sierra Leone cannot celebrate our togetherness and the strength as two countries, then it's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, we hope to see that day, but things don't look like they're going in the right step. Okay, there's something that just came to my mind. I know we had to do this in one of the previous episodes, but I guess we can do it now. This vessel thing, are we ready to do that? Do you think we can do that?
We would, as I mentioned, we will try, but we might not have enough facts to back it. But if you have something,
shoot. Yeah, just shoot. Let's see how it goes. The
only problem might be if both of us are on the same team, then the vessels might not really be cool. But and most of the time we're not on the same team, so I think it's going to.
Okay, so if we're doing a versus MI and Vector, MI versus Vector, are you guys on the same team? Ambassador, what's your team?
I will go with MI, and I'm afraid that
I don't have enough information on Vector, so to me it's just MI. Not like I have enough information about both of them, but I know more MI songs than Vector songs.
Took the big brother and small brother.
Yeah.
Vector fans might not agree with me, but I think so.
Yeah, I don't have enough Vector songs, but I know more MI songs. So if you want me to pick between the two, I'll go with MI.
MI. So I guess both of you are on the same team.
The same team. Team MI today.
Davido versus Whiskey.
What's the criteria you're going with?
Influence, popularity, more hits.
If it is influence and popularity, of course it's the video. But if it is musically, I'll go with Whiskey.
No, but so for me now, I feel like if I'm being consistent with my person, I like profound music. And I feel like Whiskey is tilting more towards that direction, although he has not really done that much to be as an engaged artist, but compared to Davido, he's more engaged than Davido. But if you just ask me of the hype of like, who is the artist I might vibe more to, I'll go with Davido.
That's what I'm saying. If it's popularity, if it is Davido, of course. But if it comes to art,
so okay, you think like, Davido has more influence than?
Let me ask a question.
Let's go with their recent albums. Have you listened to Davido's
two artists and then find out which side what the lead is going to go with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say MI versus Jovi.
For me, like I said, I haven't heard so many songs from MI, so I'll still go with Jovi.
I will go with MI.
Yeah, I go based on how exposed I am to you. So instead this debate can be you're giving me points or you're educating me on MI things, his songs, what he has done and all that, which I'm not adverse to.
We could be better prepared
but
we know who we are looking at. But also
but to me, I'll go with Jovi all day, every day. Like if they say call an MI song, let me call a Jovi song. Like if that's the verses you guys want to call, we can do it.
So I want to ask, does Jovi have, as I said, my preference is of engaged artists. Does Jovi have any? Is there any engaged song in his catalog?
Does Jovi has what? Engaged songs?
Engaged song, which is that talking about some social ills, really protesting about something or talking for the society or kind of. As I said, that's my preference with other things.
Don't forget. He's talking to the woman now. It's like, New Star.
New Star?
Yeah, New Star, don't forget. Yeah. He's talking to woman. He's explaining life in the war side. It's an engaged. Come on, New Star, it's an engaged song. What?
I've listened to New Star, I'll listen to it again. But okay, just tell me about the song though.
God damn. Say I don't work for this
Even if you cannot mention the line,
Janga.
just give me the summary of the song.
Wait, no, he's talking about life of people in Cameroon. How Cameroon is, the way the way society has limited Cameroonians. Like, I don't work for this place, so they dry land janga and get me like that if man. Or they have it in that. Like, New Star is explaining, is talking to
so I know those lines, and I feel like he's telling a story of how the typical Cameroonian suffers or their hustles.
Yeah,
but it's not really a problem. He's not talking about like colonialism, racism, ills against women. When I talk about engaged song, that's what I'm talking about, like slave trade. So when I listen to this song,
I don't want to be silly. No, when I laugh like this now, I have so many stupid things in my mind.
I know what you're thinking about, because I think the viewers will wonder like, what's making you laugh that much? What are you talking about?
No, when you talk about those things, I think about songs and your title. I wanted to talk about motion.
Because like, those are the things like. Always feel like invest such things, bring your catalog on the table. If there's this song MI has Justified. If you listen to Justified, I've been following some of the things that happen in Nigeria, but Justified is really a story of the Nigerians, Christians and Muslim fights. But also, if you look at it, the grand scheme of things, it's always how the African is fighting against the African for things which are not really ours.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, true.
Yeah, so he has that song Justified, which it's not a popular song.
Do you know how verses work? Verses, especially if you see this Western verses, the verses is the way you pay. Like when you see most of these guys when they do verses, they have some of those political songs, they have some of those emotional songs that inform. But a verses, you don't play those songs because it's like controlling a crowd. It's like
but right now, in this case, we don't have a crowd, so we can only go off what we feel, though. I don't know if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we are going,
so that's why I'm assuming that if let's in the versus between Diplomats and Rough Rider, if at one point Rough Rider gave an engaged song, Diplomat have to look for an engaged song.
No,
whatever
that's
you
not
play,
how it
the
works.
rappers have to play the same. As soon as we go with themes, right? They are looking at what the crowd will vibe to. Like when they said, "Do you have love songs?" Everybody wants to look for their best love song that the crowd will vibe to. But we don't have the crowd factor here. So now let's look at love song. What does Jovi have what does he have in his love song catalog?
Hey,
The song with Ambi.
forget about Ambi.
That go, don't go, something like that.
I think the song Echo Roosevelt might be his best love-ish kind of song.
Yeah, that song was good. I like that song.
He has another one. Jovi has about 5 of them. I'm not good with titles, but
love
he has
songs.
Don't worry, I'll send them in the group. About 5 of them.
5.
Okay, said. But I was also feeling like the listeners is also an opportunity for us to educate the listeners about.
Of course, but I'm not great with titles.
Because on the other hand, even I mentioned the song Echo Roosevelt.
He even talked about the problem he had with his baby mama, that Helen Photo. He even talked about what they have after they had the kid.
Celine Photo or Helen Photo is
Celine is Celine, I think. Celine Photo.
Celine Photo, yeah.
He has a song that address all those things. His emotional side.
Jovi emotional side.
Where I said Jovi has about 5.
It means the law will surely finish in the market. Okay, but have you listened to MI 1 Naira?
Of course. Who
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is
you
it
see that
API, right? Is it?
No, with 1J.
With 1J.
Okay,
With Waje. To me, if you play that MI 1 Naira, I'll play that song addressing his baby mama.
And you are sure I can really match up to 1 Naira?
In Cameroon, it will slap.
I'm not sure, man.
1 Naira is because
I'm sure that like 80% of the typical Cameroonians don't know that song, but they'll know 1 Naira.
You're right because I've heard it.
So
I've heard 1 naira.
that,
So if I
yeah.
if I can say I've heard it, then yeah, of course 1 naira may win because of the popularity factor. And another one too is based on sequencing though, because did you see the verses between Nelly and Ludacris?
No, I just
This
heard about it, but not follow it that closely.
okay. Have you seen the one? Is it T-Pain and who did T-Pain do his own with? They know T-Pain and Lil Jon. T-Pain did his own with Lil Jon. Everybody knew T-Pain will crush Lil Jon. Come on, if they put T-Pain and Lil Jon, who do you think will win?
T-Pain.
Of course, but Lil Jon won. Why? Because of
But I'm sure
sequencing.
Lil
Because
Jon
of
surely used his featurings though.
But of course, all of them have featurings. They had to use it. You can use anything you want. Both
Maybe
artists
just
are
strict for your
feature
catalog. I
heavy.
feel like T-Pain will beat him hands down.
No, Lil Jon don't have singles. Like he's a DJ. He does collaborations. He just yell on his songs and do some sort of like he has
So
some
that's why I
short
said
verses.
I will not count Lil Jon like an artist though. So
No,
that's
he's
why
an
I was
artist. Lil Jon brought crunk. That's the godfather of crunk music.
How did yeah. I don't even
If
know
you
what
don't-
you say.
Just go and watch the creation, the hip hop evolution. That's a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah,
Lil
seen
Jon
it.
is the
So I feel
creator
like
of crunk. The heavy
crunk
bass,
has been
808s, boom,
existing
boom,
down.
boom.
I feel like crunk has been existing down. Is it south or is Midwest? No, it's south.
Is that
right?
south? That's
Down
where
south.
that's where
Yeah.
Lil Jon is from.
Crunk has
He
been
created
existing
it.
down south for a while, but Lil Jon was the most popular face that took it to the limelight and then brought in
No,
other
Lil Jon.
non-south artists to come and collaborate on crunk stuff.
No, crunk was, let me just say crunk, I think it was a lifestyle or something, but sonically the sound crunk, the way they beat the 808s are heavy, this boom boom boom. He's the one who created that. Like he said, he went to his machine, he took the hits, crunk the thing up to the top, crunk the volume up because he was a party DJ. He wanted that the crowd should feel the music. Like Lil Jon created that sound. Since he couldn't rap, he created that sound. He brought all these guys. I've forgotten the name of his group. Like he brought all these guys. They create. So yeah, Lil Jon. Anyway,
But that's why I feel like I don't want the aspect of what are crowd bangers to be the judgment because it might be
but that's the
misleading
whole
here.
that's the whole essence of verses.
No, there are verses, but there's a kind of verses we can do here
We
where
are
it's
doing,
just like
yeah, we mustn't do what they are
argument do
doing.
you have for this song? What argument do you have for this song? And then we let the crowd judge later on because there's
Yeah.
no present crowd here to judge it. But yeah, and that's what, and I feel like even crowd wise, anywhere wise, in Cameroon, in Yaoundé, in
Yeah.
Cambe, Emma is going to beat Jovi.
In what did you say, Campbell?
I send Cambe.
So you feel that as tribalistic as
Tata will beat MI in
Cameroonians are proud
Cambe.
to be.
Tata will beat MI in Cambe.
What?
Tata will beat MI in Cambe.
I
The
don't think
Boko
so.
movement, you know.
So there's a point
Hey.
where stardom is going to be like, whoa, my brother, you are big right there. This is another level.
Man.
Plus, I don't know. I feel like in the beginning, people from Cambe, people from the Northwest, Anglophones as a whole were strongly behind Jovi. But over the years, he has somehow been losing touch with them too.
Yeah, because I think he's going more towards the French direction, which I would say it's understandable because he is in Yaoundé.
And this is 8 out of 2, out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Any normal businessman who wants to focus his business strategy around Cameroon should not neglect French.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, but now I'm just saying, that's why people might be very surprised that we go to Nkambe and the village council instead give Jovi a fine for not coming to the village often and not supporting the villagers. And then we welcome Emma now like the visitor has just come to visit.
Man, I don't know. That's hard for me to accept. Like, there's a logical part of me which is saying it's probably true, but there's an emotional and I don't know, is it patriotic part of me which is like, it's hard for me to accept that.
So when you are behind the scene in things in Cameroon, there are many shocking things you see and you're like, is this for real? I mean, like, I could observe the popularity of Petit Pays nosedive, like for the last 10 years. Until now, those who knew Petit Pays in the days of Tongolo and the rest sound bizarre. When you see Petit Pays now, you're like, is this the same guy who used to make crowds go wild? And most of the time, Cameroonian artists, once they rise above the masses, they're no longer looking into the masses. They are now contented with Mon Ami, c'est Paul Biya, c'est le procureur. You are visiting those your big friends. But slowly but steady, you are losing touch with those masses. And you're just assuming that they had my back, they still have my back, although they are behind me now. You are not looking at them, so you don't know the things are changing behind. So one cold afternoon, you are walking on the street and they can get the move key. You know, like, hey, these people have forgotten who I am.
Petit Pays.
So you see some of our celebrities fight with Okada people, it's not because they were never celebrities.
What?
No, I mean,
Celebrities fight with Okada people.
When you see what happened to Fish in a club, that's a strong indicator that Fish had lost his ground to a very strong level and something had to be done. Because the Fish of 2 years ago, people will willingly pay for a drink for him. There were things myself I will willingly do, but now he's no longer like that. A lot of things have just gone wrong. And when they always say the crowd is a very wicked friend. When the crowd is with you, they can die for you. But when they turn away from you, you cannot be that the same people that were with you, but the crowd does not think. It just goes like that.
But it was not the crowd it's not the crowd against him though.
Against who?
Fish.
No, but I feel like people being angry that Fish is coming to sit on their table, complaining to the manager of the Snap. If you follow that story closely, normally a Fish, you should be happy that Fish sits on your table and you should buy him drinks till he does not want to drink again. No,
what if it was somebody that felt like, okay, take it for example, 2 alpha males. This person feel like, okay, Fish, he feels like Fish will overshadow his popular. Maybe somebody who was known in that city or in that place, like he's a money man. Every time he comes to that club, the DJ will call it him and all that. And Fish may be coming there. Listen, no, I'm just giving an example. And Fish coming there, and Fish coming there just use his star power and he's present there, and he takes away some of that attention from you. Sometimes it may just be envy.
So there's a possibility that it's one person doing it, but when the manager said people were complaining that Fish is coming to sit on their people.
No,
now,
people complaining can still be that guy who came there with his entourage, with his friends. That's still people.
He said that it's not the first time Fish is doing it. They have been accommodating that attitude. The Fish comes there almost every day, like for a couple of months now. He's doing the same thing, and customers are complaining. That's what he said in his voice note. And then secondly, I also feel like people look at artists different though. I'm not looking at the man standing in front of me. I'm looking at how you made me feel when I felt the way I felt when I listened to your song those years back. So
and if it was envy, Jovi, that's still the same way you feel. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it can be envy.
When I look at Jovi, I'm looking at Done for What, the way I listened to that song back to back, and I was like, whoa. So no matter what Jovi becomes, I may not shout and scream, but there's always a certain level. You know, like when you have a grandpa that once respected, you get big, you're taller than him, now you have money more than him, but there's a certain respect we just still have for that grandpa. That grandpa is now calling you grandpa, but there's always a respect I always have for that guy. Same thing for artists. Once you get to a certain level, you make me feel a certain way. There's a certain way that I will never disrespect you, I will never treat you that way. I may say certain things, but I don't think I will throw him out of a snap. It will never happen.
Okay, what if the guy felt the same way right from the beginning of when he saw Fish and it was like, nobody banga, my people, they walk around for a baggy, and just felt envious?
True, but now, if you are throwing Jovi out of a snack, I'm assuming that there should be at least 10 Boko gang members who will tell you that don't throw Jovi out. It will not be a unanimous decision. If you watch the video, people were just sitting. It was not even a call for attention. They were just throwing the man out. Even a popular grand friend, the Cartier, you have two petty friends that defend like, no, leave that man easy, easy, easy. Then the rest and the bouncers are throwing him out. He will not just be a lone soldier flying out of the snack. So I feel like Cameroonian artists have that problem where they lose touch of their fan base as soon as their nose rises above the crowd.
I don't know if Fisher, like, because look at his numbers that he's pulling on Biggie 237. I don't really think that's numbers of somebody who has lost the.
That's what I'm saying. That thing is just.
I feel like Fish when how do they sing that his song?
Kirikou, Onjo.
Kirikou and the other one with Longe Longe. Fish after Kirikou, will pull 10 times those numbers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I think
Fish
so.
after Kirikou pull 10 times those numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know. My thing is, I feel like Fish started getting really. He got to the peak of his. Let me not say the peak, but he started rising up with the attention that he started getting when he had that conflict with Stanley Eno.
Yep.
No, maybe just his songs were good though.
His songs were good. Like honestly, he got on my radar when he had that conflict with Stanley Eno. That's when I started like, okay, who is this? What songs does he have?
Me too.
I
won't lie. Me too.
Cameroonian.
No, I knew him before.
Tuned, yeah, but the majority of people I think
No.
they tuned into
Okay.
Fish
Get this. I know about.
Not after that song.
Yeah, I know about Auntie Kirikou, right? But his popularity really exploded after the thing with Stanley Eno. But I know him.
Yeah. So.
For Auntie Kirikou.
So maybe after that conflict with Stanley Eno, he would have pulled higher numbers, greater numbers. But I don't think after that song he would have pulled those numbers that you're talking about.
Anyway, there's a point to that because I might be talking based off somebody who's in the industry, but not the large audience crowd here, maybe. I just felt like Fish was strong after Kirikou.
No, that was when. Yeah, after Kirikou, he was there. He was high.
Kirikou came, gave him a good foundation. The boss came and it gave people something to tune into, and people were not like, okay, this is not just this is not just a guy making noise on social media. He actually has good songs. But I think the controversy really did something for his career.
Yeah,
there is something.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask, like, you have Nigerian artists. I know people say Cameroonians like to compare a lot with Nigerian artists, but I'll use Nigerian as like a reference point. Davido makes money. You know very well that Davido, there's nothing about Davido's life that can relate with his fans. There's nothing.
No, there is though. There is.
What's the relation?
So Davido is mostly. Davido is not a street guy. He's not a Naira Marley brand. Davido is a dirty BG. So if most scammers will align with Davido, those who are really making it, not the pickup guys who are still hustling, those who are really making it big will align with Davido. Two,
even the pickup guys, still relate with Davido because they believe they'll be there and they envy their life. Yes, those guys moving through that same trajectory, they want to be him.
What in Cameroon we call the jeune cadre dynamique. Every young man who feels like that they are peak of their things are in different circles will align with Davido. Yeah. So there are guys who Davido is national, global, whatever, but there are guys who feel like the weekend in Las Vegas in Boya, I was the Davido. The DJ was shouting my name and shouting, and after they started that thing again, they shouted it. This is their song that they shout when people are spraying money. And I'll remember and then I'll tell you guys. But that weekend, he was the Davido in the club. And that gives him a sense of achievement and pride. Yeah.
I just remember something as you're talking about people spraying money in a club. I saw this video on 237 Showbiz where this guy removed money 10,000 from his wallet and he was spraying. Then I just scrolled down to the comment section and somebody was like, he's spraying that money. Why is he using that kind of wallet? 500 wallet. He would have done that. I'm like, people always have.
Those are people who hate like
I feel like Cameroonians
always find something.
No, the truth is,
we have some default witchcraft in our gene. Before now, upbringing and prayers can deliver
the
us.
truth is that Cameroonians, the country is stressed up. The country has a lot going on that people have a lot bubbling inside of them that they find small outlets to let it out on, and they let it out on the wrong places. They just want that small outburst. That's why if somebody see you, okay, let's just say everybody is starving, okay, but there are some few people who succeeded in leaving that starvation and they come out and they are eating food, and some is even spilling beside their mouth. They'll say, see that man, the travel bushman. They are just angry that that man has food and the man is misusing it or is eating it in the wrong way. If they had it, they would have cherished it. It's just bitter. Like, that's just what I feel. Like me, let me just say like 7 years ago, if you go back 7 years ago, like 7-8 years, and see my Facebook, the kind of posts I was making, calling girls bitches and blah 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 blah. Anything that somebody writes, I go beneath her. But as time went on, I asked myself, if I comment on this thing, am I actually commenting because that thing is actually what it is, or am I feeling a certain way and I just want to use that to pour that thing out? It happens.
Life affects you.
I see so many things. I see so many things on social media. That's why I'm not even there. I just pop up and I disappear. I see so many things that want me to talk. But I just tell myself, even if I talk, my day is bad, okay? My day has been fucked up and all that. If I'm just talking here, I'm just telling these guys that I'm having a fucked up day. Yeah, I'm just trying to make the person's day worse. Not that you're trying to make the person feel the way. Yeah, it won't help your day in any way, you know? And if you succeed in making that person feel miserable, you feel good about yourself. And in turn, it hasn't solved the problem that made your day messed up in the first place. But you feel good about yourself that you are sharing.
That negative is just like a painkiller. The pain is still there. The
problem is still there.
But it just makes you feel like, okay, I'm relevant too now. I was feeling like I'm not relevant, but I'm relevant now.
Of course. Because people feel miserable when they make other people feel miserable. They feel a certain level of a small degree of satisfaction. That at least, I got to him. Like, I'm sharing the burden, even though you haven't solved it. Yeah.
When you look at the way people go to therapies and how there's counseling and the amount of effort they put out there in Europe or in America to fix people's mental health, you don't wonder that what is happening in our own country where we don't have all of those things.
Those facilities are fucking expensive.
Grand scheme of things, I'm scared. I just feel like we might be in a zoo where we don't know because we are all the animals in the cage.
Listen, therapy is expensive though.
But it's a necessity though.
But listen, therapy is expensive. A Cameroonian, what's the per capita income of Cameroon?
I don't know. I don't have your hand here, but yeah, I think it's low.
Yes, they cannot. That amount of money cannot afford a therapist for 2 weeks or even a week.
So what if we train Cameroonian therapists? They're looking at therapy from the cost in Europe. What if we train Cameroonian therapists?
Okay, training a therapist in Cameroon is it's almost like a doctor in Cameroon, right?
I feel like people go online and get certifications to become therapists now.
But
so you can get training from that too.
Yeah, so you do an online course and you become a therapist.
But it's a very bad thing when a therapist is fake because
You carry so much information, and you may say something in Cameroon. Listen, you need a certain level of tolerance to be a therapist. And Cameroonians have a very short tolerance span. So if you go to meet a therapist and you're talking to that person, because the first few weeks of meeting a therapist, you're, depending on the problem you have, you're aggressive towards the therapist because you feel like the person knows too much.
I've never heard that people beat up therapists, but I'm sure if therapists come to Cameroon, we'll surely have those kind of things. I've never heard people beat up therapists.
People verbally assault therapists. You know, that's why in Cameroon it's difficult to have a therapist in Cameroon.
Have people seen that post Askia defending Killer?
No.
People have not seen it. That she
As I said,
wait, that guy was interviewing Askia.
No, that so there's this blogger who has said, I think he called Killer like 40 something and said Killer is open now and he's just looking for a girl who smokes banger. That's like something like that. So
okay.
Killer says that he said something like that boy is feeling comfortable because he's behind the keyboard. The boy should come and meet him face to face and stare at his face. Askia now also goes online and she's like, how dare that boy say that kind of thing? That she has felt that if I forgot his name.
Ambassador, wait. It's a finished story. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
she herself, that is her ex, she will never say that kind of thing about him. How dare that blogger? In fact, that she's going to track him down and she's going to give Killer his address. That let that blogger wait until Killer gets to him. I'm like, yes, this is serious.
These are bloggers in Cameroon,
everybody is hurt. The truth is, in Cameroon, everybody is hurt. And the reason people use social media, try to use some sort of ethics to pour out that hate or that, to vent. They use, listen, that's why when even McCoy is even saying we want the old Libby. That old Libby was hurt. No, he was really hurt. Like he was he was still experiencing some things in life that I believe I've grown out of it and I've moved beyond that stage. You know.
Yeah, like you see the old Charlemagne and the new Charlemagne.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just like the old Charlemagne because I used to watch a Breakfast Club way back in 2013 when they just started.